Hi, I'm Anna, and this is my reading response to chapters 1 and 2. So the first chapter is called I Can't See You Naked. This is referring to the silly advice that a lot of us are given to visualize the crowd naked. I can easily say that in the experience I have speaking in front of a crowd, I have never once imagined them naked. I feel like that would make things much more awkward and very strange, which is why I think it tells us that that's really not such good advice. The other really important point that chapter 1 has is that we shouldn't try to be perfect, that it is inevitable that there will be mistakes. What's more important is my response to these mistakes. I've learned through my own experience that this is very true. I play several different instruments and have performed in front of crowds. I've also spoken in front of different groups of people, and I found that when I make a mistake, if I just keep moving forward, they're very likely to not even notice. It's more important, definitely, what my response is afterwards. If I'm performing and I miss a note or an entire beat or a whole section, if I just keep playing, no one or very few people will even hear the mistake. If I were to stop or continue to fumble through, then people might notice because it will cause a bigger scene. I think the same is true when you're speaking. If I find a way to just keep moving forward, maybe make a joke or ignore the mistake altogether, that it's highly likely it will be less, that people won't even notice. It'll be less of a big deal. Definitely, I found it's more important to have responses planned out for the mistakes that I know I will make, instead of trying to not make mistakes altogether, being prepared on how to handle them. Chapter 2 talks a lot about our fears. It also talks about the physical response that we have. And I've noticed in my own experience that I am usually perfectly fine, very calm all day long, up until about 5 minutes before I'm supposed to be speaking. And then my palms start to sweat, I start to shake, my heart starts to race, uh, and it just gets I get very anxious. And then I get up in front of everybody, and it usually lessens the longer I'm up there and the more comfortable I become. One of my major fears as far as speaking in front of a crowd is not making sense or not being able to articulate what I'm trying to explain or what I'm thinking. I'm afraid that what I'm saying just doesn't make sense to other people, that the thoughts in my head or the explanations or the examples are great, and then when I say it out loud, people will be confused. And the best way I found to deal with this is to practice in front of other people, to run my ideas by them before I say them out loud. That way I can actually find out, do I make sense? Is this logical? Am I explaining it clearly? And then I can prepare better and I can change things if I need to. Another big fear I have is the judgment of other people, and I think that's a pretty common fear. I'm afraid that people will judge the way I look, the things I say, the way I do things. And what I've found is that I'm a lot less important than I think I am. That one small mistake or one hair out of place is going to be a lot bigger deal to myself than it will to the crowd. Um, and even if people are judging what I'm saying or what I'm doing, the likelihood that they're going to sit around and talk about it for weeks and days and years is just crazy. Uh, Usually I matter a whole lot less, and the mistakes I make are much smaller in their eyes than it is in my head. I hope that through this class I will be able to learn some tools to not to prepare responses in the case that I make mistakes and to deal with the fears that I already have.